Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, stand-up comedian and pop culture vulture, Joleen Lunzer, here for No Offense, All Offense, the sometimes daily live show about all things pop culture and our latest obsessions. What we do over here, we roast and we recap. We take a comedic look at our favorite reality shows, trending news topics, pop culture things. Remember, I am very opinionated, as I always say, but you are welcome to have your opinion, even if it's different than mine. And we can all just coexist and realize that, we don't always have to agree.
That's my opinion!
Yes, Tamara, that's my opinion. So hello to everyone. Happy Tuesday. Joining us live. Thank you, Jamie B. Yes, hit the like. Let's set a like goal for 300. See if we can hit it, you guys. So smash that like. It's a free way to support my channel. Also subscribe. Another free way to support the channel. We are now over 36,500 subs, which is amazing. We'll be at 37,000 in no time. So I appreciate you guys. If you want to support the channel further than liking or subscribing, you can always send a super chat while we're live. I'll highlight your comment. You can send a super thanks after the video posts. Shout out to those of you who have been sending super thanks after you watch the video. I want to give a shout out to Alex. Thank you for the super thanks. You can also hit me up on the Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. Everything is at the bottom of the screen and in the description of this video. I also have a YouTube membership. You can feel free to join, or Patreon, but it's all voluntary. You don't have to do it. Yes, Ben, we got lots of fun topics to talk about today. We're going to take a comedic look. We're going to have some laughs. First things first, though, yes, we have an All-Stars 4 coming your way. For those of you who are fans of the challenge, I used to cover the challenge on MTV with my friend Miranda. Shout out to Miranda. And then we just got bored with the show. I felt like Big Brother players came in, Josh, Fessy, and kind of ruined it. Casey, the couch, allegedly. No offense, all offense. Okay, remember, everything I say is true except for the parts that are false. All right, and everything's alleged for entertainment purposes only. But I feel like they came in and it just became a different show, and I didn't enjoy it. However, is it Paramount? Yes, Paramount, right? Paramount Peacock. I'm getting confused on where all my shows are now. But one of the P's has like the Challenge All-Star. So it's the old school MTV Real World Road Rules Challenge people. Like they brought back Beth one season. Now, I think I'm one season behind because I don't think I watched All Stars 3, but I saw the lineup for All Stars 4 and it looks really good. So let me know if you guys are interested at all in even a little commentary around those episodes, because sometimes those seasons can be really fun because the players, if you're a fan of Big Brother, if you're a fan of Survivor, if you're a fan of the Challenge, Traitors, the good thing about the Challenge All-Stars is that they have a history with each other. So it can, and they're older, and it just shows you older people can do shit. You know what? We only get better, Ben. Of course, Ben's like, if you cover all the tune in, thank you. Melissa says, Mark Long is literally the best. Yeah, I think it was his show that he went and he pitched and said, hey, we need like a old school challenge type. So it's been really fun to watch those, Okay, PMR. Hey, PMR, what's up, girl? Let's get right into this Reesa Teesa stuff. So if you guys missed it, yesterday's No Offense, All Offense was dedicated to Reesa Teesa, the 50-plus part TikTok series from Reesa Teesa, a woman who tells her story of being married to a pathological liar. And it is a story that takes you for a ride. She went live 10-minute segments at a time on TikTok, completed it within days, and released it onto the world. And it just went crazy. I finally sat down and watched all of the parts. And yesterday we talked all about it. So we have an update to this story. If you don't have the time to watch it, just check out my video yesterday. And it pretty much tells you what you need to know. But this guy, it was basically, who the F did I marry? That's what she named it, because she had no idea who she really married. And the crazy thing about this story is it's very fluid, and new parts and new things keep getting discovered. And Reesa Teesa hit TikTok today to tell us all that there were some updates to the story. So let's take a listen to what Reesa Teesa is updating us regarding her alleged pathological lying husband, Legion, which we also found his TikTok yesterday, and it is scary.
Who the did I marry? New update. Today is Monday, February 26, 2024. Earlier today, Legion's older brother, Chris, reached out to my friend, Tracy Tripp, an attorney here in Metro Atlanta. He called her firm to ask how he can get in contact with me. Tracy, being the friend that she is, basically had the attitude of, I don't know you. You're going to have to verify. Remember, trust, but verify. Chris did exactly that. On the phone, he verified, because I was on speakerphone when she called me, that he was in fact the older brother. I felt comfortable. I called him from my personal phone. I called him at 2:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He and I spoke, and there were two things that he asked for me to clear up. Here it is. Number one, Legion's mother passed away first. His father passed away a few years later. It was at the father's funeral that Legion brought his ex-wife, and apparently there was an altercation of some kind between Legion and his older brother. They have not seen each other since the father's funeral. The information that I initially gave in my 50-part series was that they have not seen each other since the mother's funeral. So I want to clarify, they have not seen each other since the father's funeral. Secondly, Chris wanted me to also let you all know that their parents, though they are passed away, the parents did everything they could to get Legion psychiatric help. At one point, they were taking him to different therapists and psychologists. He's been diagnosed as a kid with both bipolar and schizophrenia. I did not know this. Chris informed me today, Monday, February 26th, during that phone call, that their father came out of retirement to help pay for the medications. And as Legion got older, he refused to take them. Did not know that. I say all this to say that Chris gave me permission to go ahead and relay this message to everyone to clear up some things that were said in the 50-part series. He also had a message for me. He said, we support you. The family is not mad at you. We've known how he is for years. You can expose that. So thank you, Chris. I told him I would make this video to clarify exactly what he said. And he told me that if you or any friends know the family personally up in Philly, Chris has a message for you. The captain is loose. Apparently, you all should know what that means if you know the family. I say all this to say, again, I take responsibility and be accountable for the series that I put out, that 50-part series. So if I said something that was incorrect, I have no issue making sure that I correct it as best I can. However, let me be very clear, ladies and gentlemen. I know what my ex-husband put me through. I cannot speak for anyone else. I can only speak on my experience. I realize that this story sounds absolutely outrageous, but it's true. I filmed it the way I did for a reason, because it's true. I gave you details because it's true, and I stand on that. You all have a wonderful day.
Wow. Okay. So, the brother contacted his older brother, Legion's older brother, her ex-husband, who she tells the 50-part series stories about, and the crazy misadventure, I guess, of being married to him, contacted her to correct some information, but to find out that he has this untreated mental illness, and that the dad came out of retirement to get him medicated. It's pretty heartbreaking, for these parents and the family itself, because if you have ever dealt with this with a family member, it is extremely, it's sad, it's frustrating, it's all the things, because mental health is the one of the still heavily stigmatized, illnesses out there. And it's, there's still so much that we don't know. I mean, we've progressed a lot, and we talk about it more openly than we did when I was a child or my parents were a child. So that has progressed, but I think there's still so much stigma around it. And it is incredibly difficult to get someone who may be in, schizophrenia, bipolar, or psychosis or things like that, to get them to realize that they need medication and treatment. And so, knowing that he could have this combination of schizophrenia and bipolar and to be untreated and unmedicated, it's very scary and very sad for the family in a lot of ways, that they've basically had to, they put up with so much from their brother and tried to help him. But if you're in a situation like that and someone isn't willing to do the things to help themselves, it kind of leaves you, your hands are tied. And so it is very difficult, because if someone, had a broken leg, they're not going to say, I don't think I'm not going to go to the doctor and get this broken leg taken care of, and no one's going to go, oh, you had a broken leg, I don't want to hang out with you. So there's no stigma around that, or, certain health conditions. If you have heart issues, you're probably going to take your heart medication, but getting someone who doesn't either believe they're sick, doesn't want to get treatment, getting them to take their medication, and it's so frustrating. I think most people can kind of relate to that. So this was very interesting to see. There had to be, you were thinking, if you watched the full TikTok series of Reesa Teesa, something's not right with this man. The pathological lying alone is very, very scary. So, interesting that now his family has come forward, not only cousins that you'll hear about in the story, but the older brother just saying, we stand by you. And still, unfortunately, Legion, the ex-husband, he is out here like, no, she's lying. And I think he said he was going to seek legal counsel regarding this. Again, you can't believe anything this dude says, because after watching the series, you realize that when Reesa Teesa explains the difference between pathological liars and what's the other liar? I know there's lots of liars. Like Sendable's a liar. Pathological, not habitual, but someone will put it in the chat, is that pathological liars lie and they don't really have a reason for lying. They're just lying for the sake of lying. They just lie. And a lot of you have shared in the comments after that video post your own experiences with maybe being around someone who is a pathological liar, maybe being married to someone who's a pathological liar, someone with narcissistic personality disorder. We see a lot of this stuff in the media and on our reality shows. Thank you guys for sharing your stories. Yeah, Joseph says, when his family stand by Reesa, it's bad. His family basically has come out and said, like, we don't have contact with this dude. This dude, the brothers, the twin, they do not talk. And just like the brother said, since the parents' passing, they have not talked. None yet. Joleen matches the frame. I know. I made the background a little. It's a little TikTok extra, but I really liked it. So hopefully you guys aren't too distracted by my new no offense, all offense background, and also I'm experimenting with no offense, all offense logos. So if you look in the upper right corner of the video and you like the little box, let me know, because ultimately I want to have some no offense, all offense merch, things like that. Amy says, you can't reason with a delusional person. They don't have any comprehension of logical thinking. Exactly. And it can be so frustrating because we want to, and not that Legion, I don't know, that's what his brother and them are saying is his diagnosis. But when you're dealing with someone in particular who might be in, no matter what their mental health condition, if they're in a state of like a psychosis type state, trying to reason with someone like that, it's so difficult. And it can be to the point where you want to get mad at that person, but then you have to remember, like, to them, what they're thinking in their head, or like, with schizophrenia, that's real to them. But you're like, it seems so cuckoo bananas. Very and crazy that Reesa Teesa was married to this man for that long. Again, she knew so little about him because she trusted what he told her in the beginning, and quickly, not slowly, things started compiling on top of one another, where she was like, this man is a whole lie. He is a whole lie. Ash, thank you so much. New buttons coming your way once the logo drops. Oh my God, Ash, I still have all of the buttons you made me. My husband has the buttons. I have them here. Of course, now I'm like, here they go. Ash made me like such cool buttons, and these were just the ones where you could scan for your link tree, but she made me the best stuff. So Ash, if you have a website or anything you want to drop in the chat for people to check out, if you make this, if you got a business for it, feel free to drop it out, because you made me some rad stuff. So thank you. I'll have to hit you up for when the merch drops too, and see if we can make a deal. So that's the latest update in the Reesa Teesa. I feel like it's ever evolving, and who knows what else is going to come out. So many things have come out of this. So many people have come out of this, out of the woodwork, having experience with this man. And what Reesa Teesa ultimately finds out is this man is alone. family, friends. I mean, these burned a lot of bridges, right, Nanya? Who doesn't love a good button? Amy says, unfortunately, I have a family member who struggles with delusions. Yes, I do as well. And it's like having a conversation with Kanye, very difficult, very confusing. It is. It's very difficult, very confusing. And you have to have all this patience. And it's hard because you want the person, you want to shake and be like, wake up. No, come on. If we do the steps, if we do the get on the meds and we stay and you do therapy and stuff, we can like get back. And you can't, it's just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking that it's hard to reason when people are in certain states of in their untreated mental illness. So wow. I mean, doesn't surprise me, but definitely interesting that the family that he was diagnosed at a young age, the parents tried to help. The parents have since passed, and the siblings probably had to set boundaries and wipe their hands of it, because if you're dealing with someone who is that much of a pathological liar, I mean, they can do quite a bit of damage to your life. So bad situation. Hey, Savannah Marie. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, April. Okay. So that's the newest in the Reesa Teesa situation, you guys. Let's talk some Traitors gossip, shall we? Let's speaking of I don't have a clip for that, but maybe we'll listen to. I mean, this is what Legion is doing on his TikTok. He's making this song about Reesa Teesa as we transition over to some Traitors gossip.
That evil Reesa is a liar. Don't believe nothing she said. I will walk right through the fire. I got God with me each day. Don't believe Rysa Tissa.
Don't believe Reesa. After a while, though, it becomes a little bit of a banger, even though I believe Reesa Teesa. April says, being a CNA, shout out to CNAs out there, all healthcare workers. Thank you so much. CNAs are amazing and so necessary, and they keep everything running, and all the support to the CNAs. I hope you get all the raises, all the unions fight for you, because you're wonderful and amazing. Being a CNA, I've dealt with dementia and everything under the sun. Yes, and a lot of you have talked to me. We've previously talked on No Offense, All Offense about watching the Wendy Williams Lifetime, I think it's Lifetime documentary that dropped. I've seen little clips, and so I am going to watch it. And on one of these No Offense, All Offense, we'll do a full recap. We'll dedicate one to the Wendy Williams situation, because everybody's kind of talking about this, because Wendy Williams allegedly has the same kind of dementia as Bruce Willis. And it's very, 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 the little clips I've seen, I was like, this is so freaking sad. And we have a similar situation where I was watching a doctor on TikTok, and he was saying like the part of her brain that would kind of like censor things is the part that part is heavily affected. So she's saying things and might be seen as someone who's just like mistreating her staff, but she's like almost like the filter's gone. That's one thing. That Alzheimer's and dementia is that is no joke. That's one of the worst things, because you're basically, you're still functioning, but your brain, the deterioration of that, and such a struggle. But when I saw clips for this Wendy Williams documentary, I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this anymore. It looked so sad, but we'll watch it. Yes, thank you, HC. Frontal lobe damage, just wow. It's a lot. Just Jonda says, psychological issues are no excuse. You make someone's life hell, they have a right to say whatever the fuck they want about you. Oh yeah, I definitely am not saying that Legion or anything gets a pass for this at all. I just found it very interesting that he was diagnosed. But yeah, your mental health, I say this often, is your responsibility. And if you don't take care of it, it can affect a lot of people negatively. And I see a lot of people now watching Vanderpump Rules, and also some YouTube creators weaponize their mental health against people, or use it as a manipulation tactic to get out of accountability, which we see on television and on YouTube. And I think that is 100% wrong. And you need to be responsible for that. And you can't be out here as a full adult saying, this person made me do this. No one can make you do anything. You are an adult, okay? You decide whether you're going to react, whether all these things. That is all within your control. Ash says, I have friends that worked with Bruce Willis in film in Alabama and talked about how terrible it was to watch him try to work towards the end. Yes, and that was in the Randall documentary. Lala Kent from Vanderpump Rules, her ex, Mr. Big Ed, Mr. No Neck, they had that documentary on Hulu where they exposed him as this like scandalous producer, and people were really in a position where it seemed like they were taking advantage of Bruce Willis. And I think Rand, aka Randall, was one of the people who did that. So yeah, it's crazy, right, Ryan? I had no idea you can get dementia from alcohol. That's so sad for Wendy. Yeah, I mean, it's not, I think, it's one of the, I think this doctor on TikTok, I forget his name, but it popped up in my algorithm and I was just like watching him. But I think I was getting a commercial because he was saying, you should have this Mediterranean diet. And I was like, well, I do like Mediterranean food, and that'll help you. And then he was selling something. I'm like, oh, I thought he was just here to help people. But I guess everybody's selling something. But yeah, he was saying that addicts, you can kind of be more prone to that, and what drugs and alcohol do to the brain. So an abuse of that can give you a higher likelihood, I guess. So I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, you guys, we got to get into something a little more fun because I can't roast and recap dementia. I'm good, but I'm not that good. I don't know. I'm sure someone else could do it. But okay, so let's get into the Traitors stuff. Okay, so there is some Real Housewives level drama going on between Parvati and Tamra Judge. Tamra Judge of the Real Housewives of Orange County, Parvati, Survivor, Queen. This has been going on for a little bit, but today Us Weekly even posted an article about this. And it says, Tamra Judge slams the Traitors co-star Parvati Shallow's laughable dig at her and says, sit down. Okay. So according to Us Weekly, some of the Traitors season 2 cast are getting a little cutthroat. I mean, we're here for it. Even for a show about treachery and murder. The Real Housewives of Orange County star Tamra Judge, who we all know is in the drama, and Big Brother alum Janelle fired back after co-stars Parvati Shallow and Johnny Bananas questioned their traitor radar during the Friday, February 22nd episode of Bananas podcast. So Parvati was on Bananas podcast. And she said, so they were questioning, because now Tamra and Janelle were like, we knew this person was a traitor. I knew it, So this is laughable. Love Bananas in his podcast, but he was on #TraitorsUS for 15 minutes. And here's Poverty. And Tamra, I think, calls her Poverty instead of Parvati, doing his podcast. And she put laughing. Or did Tamra write this? Oh, she tweeted this, you guys. Oh my gosh. So she tweeted this and she really, instead of spelling Parvati's name, she put poverty. Oh, Tamra. Oh, that better just, knowing Tamra, that's not just a spell check issue. That is some shady shade. She said, this is laughable. Love Bananas in his podcast, but he was on #TheTraitorSUS for 15 minutes. And here's Poverty doing his podcast, laughing emoji. Tamra 56 wrote via Twitter, because it'll never be X to me, on Sunday, February 24th, alongside a clip of the podcast episode. Stop hating. I've been in the podcast world for 3 years and TV for 16. Sit down. Who is Poverty? Again, she's spelling it like she impoverished, like poverty. Anyways, she continued, poking fun at Kevin Kreider's mispronunciation of Parvati's name on the Peacock series. Okay. So she's doing this because Bathtub Kevin. Bathtub Kevin, he did call her Poverty. Okay. Here's the thing, Tamra. Who's Parvati? You don't know the Survivor world. You don't know those CBS competition worlds. Parvati in that world is Sandra level, super famous. Parvati has given us such great TV and moments within competition television and the Black Widow Alliance, and she and Suri and Sandra are legends. You, ma'am, are, you're in the Housewives Hall of Fame, I guess, but you are definitely underestimating, just because you're not a fan of that. Survivor's audience It's probably bigger. It's definitely bigger than Orange County Housewives. No offense, all offense. But you know, you're not even the OG of the OC. No offense, all offense. That's Vicky Gunvalson, and she don't even believe in the vaccine or COVID allegedly. So for her to come for Parvati in this way, you need to take several seats, Tamara, because you will never understand. Parvati has done multiple seasons of the Survivor. She's legendary. And I don't honestly, I would put Parvati above Tamra for TV value. I really would. And I know that's weird to say because Tamra has literally been on Housewives of Orange County consistently. I mean, she was put on pause, aka shout out to Dorinda Medley. But the entertainment Parvati has given us is it's just better. And no offense, off that that's my opinion. So you need to sit down, Tamara. That is crazy. That's crazy that she's coming for Parvati like this. But again, just because you don't understand the Survivor world, the Big Brother world, the CBS competition world, remember that these shows have been on a lot longer than your shows, and they'll probably be on a lot. Maybe not Big Brother. Let's be honest. I don't want to get too on my soapbox about this, but you know I love my Bravo television. But Orange County is just one more Gina away from getting canceled. Let's be honest. And no offense, all offense to Gina, you know, but that's the impoverished lady, allegedly. You know, that's who everyone says is broke via the Housewives world. But shout out to Gina and her eyelash extensions. Okay. So during the clip in question that Tamara's talking about, Parvati slammed Tamara and Janelle, 44. So Parvati's 41. Oh gosh. And Janelle's only, me and Janelle are the same age. Shout out to Janelle. So Parvati slammed Tamara and Janelle for trying to say they knew after the fact who the traitors were. Parvati became a traitor during episode 2 after being recruited by Dan Giesling and Phaedra Parks. We were there. We saw it. Janelle's doing that podcast with Tamara. Tamara's trying to get her 15 minutes of fame from this because she didn't do much on the show, Parvati said, referring to Janelle's appearance on Tamara's podcast talking Traitors earlier this month. I mean, to me, that's kind of funny that Parvati, I mean, Tamara had a couple good moments, but she didn't do anything on the Traitors. Parvati's not lying there. And am I biased? Yeah, I am. Do I watch Orange County and enjoy it sometimes? Yeah. But do I think Parvati's correct? 100%. Tamara, you were there. You had the whole trying to figure out UK John, you know, Little John in the UK voice, about if he really had asthma. That was something, but really you have not left the impact that like Phaedra, Parvati, even Janelle had. Okay. Yes. Kara, perfect way to put it. Parvati is gold, Tamara's bronze, and that's okay. And that's okay. That's just how it is. Anna says it's hard for Bravo World to recognize the CBS people as stars and vice versa. Tamara is a legend of Bravo. Parv is yes, correct. Legend of Survivor. They are both good at what they do. Just my 100% Anna, my personal opinion is I would just prefer Parvati. I feel like as far as like iconic television moments, I have just experienced more from Parvati, even though Tamara's given us a lot. She definitely has, but okay. So Parvati says she wanted to. So I think the issue is like it's easy to say after the fact, I knew who the traitors were. Well, if you knew who the traitors were, why didn't you, do a better job at sussing them out and getting them out before you were taken out so quickly? But again, this is a new game, new thing for Tamara and a lot of the Bravo people. But Tamara's the type where she's not necessarily going to be, she's going to be fun to watch on these shows, but is she going to be really good at it? She's maybe a little too blunt. That's kind of what her and Janelle have in common is that for these shows, and I get it as a fellow blunt chick, you have to play the game, and you can't let out all your cards at once because that can make you a target. So I think being a little more sneaky probably would have helped her game. Also interesting that Tamara is just starting all these podcasts. Talking Traitors, I saw that was a podcast, but I have not watched it because I'm like, I don't think I need Tamara to tell me about Traitors. I would prefer, Like if Janelle and Parvati and Sandra had like a Traitors podcast, I would tune in. I don't know if I would, or Phaedra, but I don't think I would listen to Tamara's. No offense, all offense. Bananas, meanwhile, noted during this podcast that he didn't believe Janelle identified the traitors early on. Love Janelle to death, but Janelle claims that she knew the entire game the second she walked in the house. She's like, I knew Dan was a traitor. I knew Parvati was a traitor. I'm like, did you? Come on, he said. Here is where I actually believe that Janelle could have clocked the traitors more so than I would believe that Tamara did, because Janelle has a history of being on these type of competition shows. And it wouldn't surprise me. She knows Dan. She knows Parvati. She can pick up on things. She just wasn't able to execute. And probably, for her, it was like, well, it's not really hurting me if those two are the traitors, because technically I'm working with Dan. And she probably thought, as long as I'm not on their radar for murder, it won't be that bad. Ultimately, that came around and bit her in the ace. But there's where I'll disagree with Johnny Bananas, because I don't think he puts enough respect on Janelle's name and her reads on the game. And they do have a point. I mean, Tamara does have a point. Johnny Bananas, you were there for 5 seconds. You didn't even get to wear a new suit. We only saw you in one suit. You were a one suit wonder. I mean, that was crazy. That's why I really like this season, because they got rid of Bananas fast. Because if you leave that dude in a game, he's going to do some damage. So just get rid of him. So Janelle also responded to Bananas and Parvati's comments via Twitter on Sunday. She said, many people say Tamara and I didn't know who the traitors were. Per usual, I can provide receipts. Yes, I was wrong about Sandra and CT, but I knew Dan and Parv literally from day 1 and 2. She wrote alongside a screenshot of an October 2023 direct message thread between herself and Tamara. She wrote to Tamara, I think Dan Tamara wrote to Janelle in a thread, I think Dan murdered me. Tamara wrote this to Janelle, and Janelle provided, you guys, Janelle pulled Parvati and Janelle for Housewives, okay? Janelle pulled a Housewives move, and she was like, I will show you receipts, Heather Gay.
Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, everything.
Freaking everything. So Janelle shares their exchange, and Tamara says, I think Dan murdered me. In her response, Janelle named both Dan, 40, and Parvati as traitors and said, I thought it was obvious. Tamara retweeted Janelle's post, writing receipts. Oh, she did. Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, a nod to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star Heather Gay's iconic season 4 speech when outing co-star Monica Garcia's involvement in the Instagram to roll account Reality Von Teese. Prior to Parvati's comments about Tamara seeking 15 minutes of fame, Tamara questioned Parvati's as a traitor when Janelle appeared on her podcast. Oh, to me as a viewer, Parvati's making herself look guilty. She's making herself more and more look like a traitor to me, Tamara said during the February 2nd episode. Oh, receipts, proof, everything, fucking everything.
The rumors, the nastiness about her. Who let you do that? Do you know what? You want me to go there with her husband?
I want you to go there with husband, Meredith. Meredith marks for Traitors season 3. All right. Let's see what you guys are saying. Kara says, bananas, Janelle. I think knew it was Dan and didn't know what to do. I think she knew, and she was like, well, I'm working with him. So if you can keep the traitors on your side, you're not going to get murdered. You can utilize that in your game as an advantage. So I think that's what she was looking to do. Anna says, I tried to listen to Janelle and Tamara, but as soon as Janelle said she didn't know who Sheree was, what? I had to stop. Janelle didn't know who Sheree Whitfield is? Sheree's an OG of RHOBH. Oh, I thought Janelle was, maybe Janelle she didn't watch RHOBH, I guess, because how do you not know it was Sheree? Sheree's been around forever. Ryan says Tamara is a real life traitor for going against the Trace Amigas. I know we have this upcoming season of Real Housewives of Orange County, and I'm so excited for it because Tamara has paired up with Alexis, Jesus Jugs, who she formerly hated because she has split apart from Vicky and Shannon, the DUI lady. because we all know, Shannon Storms Bedore of Real Housewives of Orange County. She got a DUI, allegedly stalking her ex-boyfriend, John Jansen. And then John Jansen, who didn't want anything to do with Shannon anymore. Actually, Shannon got a hit and run. She ran into a damn building. Belly, if anyone needs to stop drinking, it is Shannon Storms, formerly Shannon Storms Bedore. Then that John Jansen, who is no prize in my opinion, but he does have a boat. He does have a boat in Southern California. Maybe that's the prize. Went on to date Alexis Bellino, formerly of Real Housewives of Orange County, even though Shannon and Alexis have never been friends really or on a season together of Housewives. Alexis was before Shannon's time. Tamra was full on Trace Amigas, Vicky, Shannon, Tamra. They were touring. They had I think they went on one tour. I don't want to get ahead of myself. As this Trace Amiga show, which was probably heavily drinking. Tamra said she got too busy for it. Vicky and Shannon got upset with her, and it's been a thing. But this new season, Alexis, I think she's filming with them. And now Tamra has teamed up with Alexis, who we know it's going to be a mess because now Alexis is back on the show and she's dating Shannon's ex, who Shannon was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over. She was love made her do the wacky and drunk drivey and crash into a building. And then Vicky, who said she would never come back to the Orange County Housewives, is going to come back unless she was a full-time housewife. Decided, no, I'll come back to just show up and get into arguments with Tamra and Alexis and help Shannon out. So maybe Orange County will actually be interesting. I'm actually looking forward to it. And I haven't looked forward to an Orange County season in quite some time. Okay. Happiness King says, oh my God, eyelash extensions are a thing. Dear Lord. Sheena Shea has an eyelash thing too, I think. I think she does because their eyelashes are just out of this world. April says, I think Bananas is the same age as Scandival. He's 87 years old. That is crazy. Molly, thank you so much for the first super sticker of the live. I appreciate you. And I love seeing your little picture because it's got your orange kitty. I used to have 2 orange kitties until they went to kitty heaven. Shout out to Otis and Wally. Is Jesus Jugs a real housewife this season? I think she's back. Yeah. I think Alexis Bellino's back. I'm pretty sure. HC says, now it's the Trace and Amigas. Ooh, nice. Leave it to HC. We'll always bring the awesome, hilarious, fun play on words. April says, I'm having typing issues apparently. Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Anna, okay, so you're ready for the season of Orange County too. I'm excited too. Yes, I don't know if she's she's a friend of, so she's back on the show, but she's not a full-time housewife. They're going to feel it out. They're going to be is it worth giving her a full-time housewife spot? Sheree in the chat says, no one pronounces my name properly. Not even people who spell it the same way. It rhymes with Sherry in my world. Cherie. Oh, is it Cherie? 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 Sheree? You're not like Sheree? Yeah, I'm with the Skinner kid. I'll see you later, kid. I am a 44-year-old scare. That is my thing. So now that Parvati is fighting with Tamra and Janelle, bring Janelle, get a summer house or something, a winter house out in Orange County. Parvati, I think, lives in California or maybe New York. Well, wherever. Get Parvati out there and get them on the Real Housewives of Orange County because Janelle and Tamra have really connected. They really love each other. So this could be fun. So Janelle and Tamra could team up with Jesus Jugs, and then Parvati could maybe join Vicky and Shannon, and we could get a real party. So it's like Sherry. Oh, Sherry. So it's Sherry, but instead of RRY, it's REE. Cute. I love it. But yeah, it must be frustrating because everyone's like, Sherry, Yvonne says, RHOC is so done. I mean, it is on life support. It is on life support. Mims is here. What's up, Mims? Mims says, Haru, Jolene wanted to be Avril when she grew up. Avril was a kid when I was an adult. So I think it felt like it. But no, I mean, obviously I'm the OG Avril because she's Canadian. I'm Minnesotan. We're both very, very pale ladies. And we like We liked guys who were on skateboards when we were little. Joseph says Janelle would be a housewife that actually works. She's a real estate agent. Janelle would be a freaking fantastic housewife. I really wish they would do a Housewives of Minneapolis. I mean, obviously because I'm from there, but you get the accents, you get the passive aggressiveness. There are some people that have money. You know, Janelle's got some money. She could get all her higher clientele out there, you know, living in, the cake eater land, some Edina people, pull out Maple Grove. I mean, there's some money there. And it would be really fun to watch. I think it would be so fun to have MJ back on a show regularly. I realize like how much MJ is very fun to watch. Thank you, Haru. Yeah, I wanted to be Sarah Michelle Gellar or Willow or Anya or Cordelia. or Xander. I would have been any of them at that point, but someone from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Okay, you guys. RHOBH should have Meredith do a cameo with the rumors and the nastiness. Yeah. Ugh. Meredith the Marsh is like, man, soft. My husband's soft for my family. Okay.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Oh, my favorite. Thank you. Drunk Denise Richards is just next level entertaining. Denise, I think your jacket's upside down. I think your jacket's upside down. Okay. I just get a little cold. I love how she came to that Beverly Hills housewife dinner at Kyle Richards sloshed, but she played it off like, I just got a bad cold. Either way, girl, it's not a fun time. When you already show up to the party wasted and you pregame too much before, you're not going to be fun. You're going to be sloppy to other people. You might be fun to watch, but it's not going to be a good time. And if you're showing up and you have a whole ass cold, I feel like we have forgotten, not to get too much on a tangent, but I was just with Nana and Papa. Shout out to Nana and Papa. They have arrived in Cali. Me and Nana will be doing some lives together while she's here. But I picked them up and there are people now just like, no one's covering their mouth anymore. There was like a moment, very slim, small moment where people were actually like, oh yeah. And I'm like, do you not remember the panakuchen? Remember all the people sick? Like, hello. And people, they're like, whatever. Now just coughing. I saw a lady picking her nose and touching stuff. I'm like, what were you? What is it? Corey is on Big Brother? Like, what is this? What in the Boogerville is going on? Mim says Denise thought she was auditioning for the role of Brandi Glanville. Oh my God, Mims. We didn't talk about this. Well, you and I never talk about TV stuff when we talk, but maybe we should. Brandi Glanville's lawsuit, you guys. I'd love to hear what you guys think just briefly in the chat. I don't want to get too lost on this, but Brandi Glanville is suing Bravo and Andy Cohen for like sexual harassment for a joke Andy Cohen made about Kate Chastain, speaking of traitors, about Brandi watching or something, him and Kate hook up, and we all know Brandi got lawsuit issues of her own because Caroline Manzo has been taking her to court for like 5 years for this alleged incident that happened on a season of Ultimate Girls Trip that we're probably never going to see now, where it was like Caroline and Brandi and Alex from Old School Roni, and Caroline is claiming that Brandi, like, I don't know if she sexually did something to her. So Brandi was like, oh yeah, well, how about Andy Cohen? And here's my thing. I realize that everyone's going to be like, I understand you guys are saying she's reaching, but she kind of, I know this isn't the popular thing. She kind of has a point though. Andy Cohen, for all that, Andy Cohen, he's been very inappropriate. If you're looking on a scale, I think he gets away with more because he's a gay guy. But if you're looking at like the hierarchy and you're looking at a position of power and the way he behaves sometimes with these housewives, it's unprofessional. And kind of welcoming a lawsuit. And it's, I'm surprised that something bigger. Here's my thing. Okay. Here's my thing. I think down the road, I wouldn't be surprised if we see not a surviving Andy Cohen, but like more things. Allegedly. Obviously, we love Andy Cohen. Shout out to Andy. Have me on Watch What Happens Live. But I think there's like, there's some things. You know what I mean? Some things Okay. And so it's telling she sued once, excommunicated from Bravo. I read the Brandy lawsuit. She groped and fondled Caroline. So, but here's another question though, Mims. Okay, so I understand that it looks very retaliatory, if that's the word, because she's getting sued, but it's also kind of her making a statement of Bravo doesn't have my back in this situation where they could air the season, or they could, because a lot of the co-stars have come forward allegedly and said that that the Caroline Manzo thing isn't necessarily all that it's cracked up to be, apparently. And kind of like a justice for Brandy type thing. And it's interesting for her to put this out there, kind of like a wake up call to Bravo. And it's like, these are the conditions on which you have set up for us. So if you have the guy who arguably now being more of a figurehead power, but someone who's very powerful at the company acting in such a way, then that becomes the culture and the climate of, now maybe I'm stretching here, but the culture and the climate of the work, what the word I'm looking for, the work environment, you've kind of created that. So whoa, before you just throw me under the bus and let me go down with this, we've also been not groomed, but we've become, kind of desensitized to this sort of thing. Phaedra had her back, but so did Vicky Gumbel. Now, I granted, maybe not the two best in the Bravo world to have your back, because Phaedra did that whole thing to Candy, and she was very sus about her pregnancy. And when you had, I don't know, this baby's about to pop out of here, and the math on the pregnancy. But as a woman who clearly showed on yesterday's No Offense, All Offense, that I am also not good at math, I understand. And then Vicky, who's like, I'm not getting the vaccine and saying crazy stuff. Maybe not two of the best people to have your back, but yes, that's what I'm saying, Madam. I feel like Andy and Bravo, you created this kind of culture, and you've utilized Brandy to the point where you're going to get Brandy Glanville when you get Brandy Glanville. You could be blind and see that Brandy clearly is dealing with some kind of like substance abuse issues, which is always baffling to me as a sober person, because not the substance abuse issues, I get that, but one of her closest friends who we've seen in a couple seasons of Beverly Hills, she's popped up here and there, a couple scenes, I should say, was one of the counselors on Celebrity Rehab back in the day. She's like this really attractive woman. She's an actress, not like a household name, but I forget her name. But she was always there, and Brandy would be like belligerently drunk and causing problems. And there was her sober rehab friend. And I'm thinking, I don't know, is someone that heavily in what I would think is like a little active addiction, I don't know if I'd be able to like hang out with them. I'd be like, we need to stage an intervention ASAP. So yes, Carrie is saying, Carrie Benham says, Bravo should not serve the alcohol freely. Traitors limited the alcohol, the Housewives, as talking about the difference at the happy hour. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. I mean, it's obviously the alcohol and the drinking on the trips, you get a lot of entertainment, but they've had quite a few situations now on the Housewives franchise and other franchises within Bravo where this alcohol has definitely led, they kind of are pumping them full of booze, not that they don't have their own free will, but after a certain point, it's like, well, when is any responsibility or onus on the actual production company for making sure this could be like alcohol poisoning levels? So April says, I agree that Bravo is problematic. However, when you get put on pause, you're pissed for sure. 100%. So I think, there's no right answer, but I've seen a lot of people just go, oh, Brandy, you're desperate, you're thirsty. And I'm like, or you're just mad, it's retaliatory. And I'm like, well, of course she's all those things, but also, like we said, Andy has, they've created a certain culture, and you keep bringing Brandy back, even though people have had the same. Remember when she like hit Lisa Vanderpump? She threw wine on Eileen. I mean, Brandy doesn't have boundaries, especially when she's drinking. So it's like, she's going to bring that. You want her to bring that, because they're not going to bring sober Brandy back. So it's very interesting that then they just hang her out to dry the minute something goes down. And it's like, but you provided the situation, you provided the trip, you provided the booze, it's like you stirred the pot, you added all the ingredients, and then you walked away and just let it boil over and die. Whatever happens to things. I don't cook. My husband cooks. I don't believe a woman's place is in the kitchen. I think the woman's place is far from the kitchen. But to each their own, Mim says Vicky had her boyfriend's back during the camp. So yeah, like I said, Vicky is not a good person because Brooks and his rotten teeth lied about cancer. And Vicky was like, he's got it. And we're like, And then turns out he didn't have it. So Mims, you're 100% right. Yes, she smacked Vanderpump. HC says, Bravo is a dare ad. I don't drink alcohol and I watch Bravo to stay that way. Seriously, it helps me stay sober. It really does, because I see how these women behave and I'm like, oh God. I imagine myself in my 40s now doing the things I did in my 20s. And I'm like, I have like a panic attack, So it does. I can see how it is a dare ad. Drug abuse resistance education back in the day. That was like, yeah. I mean, I wish they would have talked more about alcohol during dare, because all I remember is PCP and LSD. Officer Kavalowski, I always tell you guys this. He told us the two things I took away from dare in 1991. I think I took it as like a 5th grader, was don't do PCP because you'll chew off your fingertips. He knew a guy, Dr. Kavalowski, or I keep calling him the doctor. He was an officer. Officer Kavalowski said, and I was like, oh, okay, wrote that one down as an 11-year-old. No PCP, even though it's a fun acronym, not going to do it because I don't want to chew my fingers off. And don't do LSD because it makes you think you can fly. And he knew someone that jumped off a building. And then obviously that didn't work out well, So shout out to Officer Kavalowski. But they really could have, talked a little more about that. Mademoiselle H, yes, bringing up the good points. Tamra was the first to throw a drink in someone's face. She did that to the lady who was married to that weird baseball player guy who probably looking back had like CTE. What was her name? Her name wasn't Janelle, Judy, Jane Doe. You guys remember? What was her name? You guys, oh my God. Shut up, Annie. You had Officer Kavalowski too at St. Pascal's? Oh, St. Pascal's. Yes, St. Pascal's in St. Paul. St. Pascal's on the east side. And I went to school on the east side. Oh my God. Annie, 3185. Do we know each other? Is he still around? Someone look up Officer Kavalowski and tell him, thank you. Thanks to him, I never did PCP or LSD, but I did do a lot of alcohol because you did not. You were just like, if you do alcohol, you'll have fun. No, he didn't say that. Gina Keough. Thank you, Mims. Thank you. Gina Keough, the legendary Gina Keough. And remember, she threw the glass and Gina was like, wiped her eye, and it was red wine too. That had to sting. Oh, that makes my eye water just thinking of him. He was great. Shout out to St. Pascal's too. I haven't heard that in so long. It's like a little St. Paul reunion. What year did you have, Kavalowski? I would love to know if you're willing to share, Annie. Oh my God. Shout out to a fellow St. Paul girl. We're all trouble. Heather says ours, no lie, was Officer Greenleaf. Officer Greenleaf says stay away from them green leaves. Oh my goodness. That's a pretty fantastic name. It would be nice to see one season of Real Housewives of Orange County, all OGs. I feel like, because it's, it's the flagship Housewives franchise that started it all behind the gates of the Kodo, whatever community. And it would be pretty amazing for them to bring back. Could they bring everyone? Even Joe? Remember, I was like, why is she on this show? She's not even married. She was with that Slade person who gross. Okay, early 90s for sure. So, but now bring back Joe that she's not with Slade. What is his name? Slade Smiley? Ew. Yuck. Okay, so speaking of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, we have the reunion coming up. All right, this season. Let me know how you guys feel about it. It's hit and miss for me. But what everyone's been talking about as we wait for the part 1 of this reunion is Dorit and Kyle and this text message craziness. So apparently Dorit, this is still from the upcoming reunion, and Dorit is telling Erica about these text messages that Kyle sent to her. Okay. And she shows her this long message she got from Kyle that she feels was highly manipulative. So shout out to realityt.com, talking to co-star Erica Jane while getting an IV drip and doing makeup. Oh, good. Erica, you need more than IV drip. I do. Dorit said she didn't appreciate feeling like Kyle was trying to manipulate her. She thought it was only fair that if Kyle got to say her piece, she should be allowed to literally fight fire with fire. Before revealing Kyle's text, Dorit told Erica that what hurt and bothered her the most was that Kyle told the media that Dorit was exaggerating their friendship. And Kyle, even in like an Amazon Live, she downplayed Dorit's closeness. Kyle was on Amazon being like, we only went on like one vacation with them. Dorit doesn't like to do any of the stuff I like to do, which is hike, think about living in the woods, possibly becoming a lesbian, pansexual, bisexual, whatever. She doesn't like to do any of that stuff. She just likes to hang out in her closet with all her designer bags they can't afford. So Kyle was like being shady to her. So in the press, Kyle made it seem like like she and Dorit were only a little better than acquaintances who shared only one trip together. She essentially said Dorit blew their relationship out of proportion. Perhaps Kyle thought she was doing damage control, but it just seemed in bad form all around. I mean, Dorit thinks Kyle is like one of her best friends. And Kyle's like, I don't even know her like that. Who is she? Dorit pulled a Mariah Carey to J-Lo situation. I've never heard of her. I don't know her. And then to add insult to injury, after not speaking for months, Dorit shared, and then she sends me a text basically trying to silence me. It's so manipulative. It's so calculated. So Dorit shared excerpts from the text that Kyle sent, which have since gone viral. Here's some of the hot takes from it. Kyle said, I wanted to reach out because we were in a weird place. I don't want to lose someone else in my life over a TV show. They don't even know we are going through a hard time. So I don't see the need to bring it up there. So Kyle's basically like, don't talk about our relationship and us having a hard time. I don't need this. I already got the scissor sister thing going on. I got Mauricio dating Instagram babies. I don't have time for this. Kyle then says, I would like to sit down and talk after we get through tomorrow. The best part about the message was Kyle hadn't spoken to Dorit in months. So she sends this right before the reunion, like, hey, babe, don't say nothing. Keep it on the DDL. All right. The down under low, like where the Australians keep their secrets. Don't do anything crazy. Only to message her right before the reunion for her to be quiet. Be like, shut up. Erica was, I guess she's miffed too. And she agreed with Dorit that she would feel manipulated to. Erica, that's fancy and fresh coming from you after watching part 2 of The Housewife and the Hustler, okay? For her part, Erica summed everything up completely. I hear you. She was like, honey, I hear you. I understand exactly where you're coming from. I hate every moment of this, but I actually love it because it keeps people off of me. These fucking diamond earrings and my old man husband. So tomorrow night we'll actually see this all playing out. But also, okay, so in addition, excuse me, to this stuff and this animosity that exists around Dorit and Kyle, a lot of Bravo accounts have been bringing back the conspiracy theory. And I want to know what you guys think in the comments, that this all stems from some alleged deep DDL, not to be confused with the BBL, right? Is that a thing? Okay. Yes, that is. That's your booty. Okay, Joleen, we're working. We're cooking with gas over here. Where it was alleged that Dorit and Mauricio might have had a little flingy dingy. Now, we did see after Dorit got robbed, and PK was like, I guess, okay, babes, I guess I'll come home from Europe for a couple of days, but I can't be for too long because the creditor's after my ass. I owe so much money around town, okay? I'll always go into Australia, and that's the accent goes there. And I think it was Mauricio. I should have a clip of this, but Mauricio and PK hugging. Dorit came over, hugged both of them, and then kissed Mauricio's arm. And it has been like an underground conspiracy theory, Craig from Southern Charm, Reynolds Wrap hat thing going around for a while that Mauricio and Dorit had a fling. Okay. Now April is saying, I believe it. Sometimes I believe it. And I don't know if it's because I want to, but yeah. It's interesting. And if that did happen, or maybe there was some kind of maybe they did a swingers night. Okay, let's just go here. Allegedly, let's say they're partying in the BH before, not the butthole, the Beverly Hills, before Kyle got sober. They're putting their keys into a bowl because that's how they do it. They got a little cocaña. Who did coke in the bathroom? Remember that? Lisa Rinna. She was like, someone's doing coke in your bathroom. He's like, what? Oh, that's ridiculous. Oh my God. Are you serious, PK? Beverly Beach by Drew. Oh, anyways. Allegedly, obviously, we're jokes. But let's say you get a little cocaine and you're just like, oh, you're Boner City Township. She's got a rager. He's got a rager. They're like, fine, just do it. Kyle's, feeling loopy. The next day they wake up and they're like, did we share spouses? Did we swap spouses? Oh God. Oh God. And now Kyle's sober, let's just say, and that sober mind, you think back to those things and you're like, oh, you cringe. And she wants to separate herself from the scene of the crime. Okay. I'm just, again, entertainment purposes only. Amy says, I think this dude is on TikTok. Mauricio is like a whole embarrassment. The fact that anyone ever thought he was like the hottest husband. No. He's on TikTok. He's hanging out with baby influencers from Instagram. He looks just like that dad that you're like, please go home. Please stop. No. Why is your dad always partying with us? It's creepy. It's not fun. Sir, just pull out your wallet and leave cash. That's all these ladies want. They're not interested in anything else. Here's Mauricio on TikTok. I added my own background music or talking because he was pulled up one of the trends and he's like, this is what I say to the media when they question my relationship. I'm so high.
You suck.
Go to sleep! Go to sleep! You're crazy! Go to sleep!
No, don't be mean to her. She has a problem.
You're insane!
It was, if I had the original music with it, it was even cringier. And he was just like, I'm like, what are you doing? That's not even a dance. That's like, there's one thing to get high. Chief, all you want, sir. Get as high as a kite. Shout out to marijuana. But when it makes you start dancing like that, you smoke too much. You're going to smoke yourself stupid. You abused it. That the marijuana is like, it wants out of your system. It's embarrassed. The marijuana itself is like, you don't deserve me. Don't do this. That's mixed with alcohol. Because as much as it looks a little like, you're at a Dave Matthews outdoor thing. I don't know if that still happens. It's you're jam banding. It's just not, it's very bad. He could have been having a seizure and someone would have needed to help him, but they wouldn't know because they'd be like, but he also dances like he seizes like he dances. Thank you, Jill Christine, for the super sticker. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. So I don't know. I just have been seeing, more things pop up on some of these Bravo accounts on Instagram. And I'm like, it's not too far-fetched. I mean, that Mauricio, apparently we're going to hear Kyle admit to Mauricio cheating, allegedly. Shocker. And I know people have a feeling about that because in the finale episode, that is when Kyle and Mauricio kind of sat all their girls down and talked with them. And it was really sad because Portia, the youngest, started crying because that your parents are breaking up and it's just, it's horrible. It's a horrible situation, especially for the kiddos because, you want your parents to be together. I know not everyone does. I'm sure some people had parents and they were like, I wish they would have divorced. But it's just, it was sad to see Portia like that. So some people were upset because Kyle, she wouldn't come out and say exactly what the reason was, why she's gotten to this place where she can't forgive Mauricio, when she spent so many years acting like everything is okay and having his back and things, why it's so hard for her to just say, he cheated, he did this, he did. I could see both sides of this. I think when there are kids involved, and they're probably trying to protect their daughters as much as they can from putting them on a reality show for this long, and maybe not wanting to, the speculation's already out there about the cheating. So do we really need them to confirm it? The dude looks like a whole ass cheater. And just now I just look at him and I'm like, creepy. But some people are like, hey, you're on the Housewives and you should mention it all. And Kyle, you have held people to standards with their relationship. We want you held to the same. So, let me know what you guys think about that in the chat. If you think Kyle, like it's her obligation as a housewife on the show to actually tell us more than they've already told us about the divorce. At this point, I don't even need her to confirm it. I'm like, I see it. I see that this man is, I think Kyle got to a place of, loss of losing her best friend to taking her own life. And then through her own sobriety, I think she was like, I'm not dealing with this shit no more. She can't brush it under the rug anymore. There's not enough Tito's to drink this shit away, And what we know about if Mauricio is, cheating, the more they kind of get away with it, and then the more popular they get on these shows. I don't know if popular is the right word, but more exposure, the more likelihood they are to get caught and then embarrass their spouse. So Shivy says, Mauricio was so detached in the conversation. He has been so detached and annoying. It's like he wants to be like, oh, everything's fine. Counseling was fun. And Kyle's like, I wouldn't say it was fun. He's like, oh yeah, sorry. Mauricio is, at this point, he's abusing the marijuana, okay? There is a point where you are just chilling, doing good, but he went full on, what's the one that he went full on indica? Like this dude, his brain is just in the couch. He's just like, hey, that was fun. It's like, that wasn't fun, Mauricio. We're at a funeral. That person's dead. Oh yeah. But they get to take a nap. That's pretty cool. And you're like, Mauricio, please stop. Please stop. Yeah, Mo's face, he's always like, it's like, ugh, I need to want to be like, grow up, sir. Yes, Cara, very sad for the kids. Heather says it's legal here. I take the lowest 5 milligrams available gummy before bed instead of a glass of wine. Mauricio is taking all the gummies. I think Mauricio just, once you pop, you can't stop. HC says, Mo and Doe sitting in a tree. F-U-C-K. Stop it, you guys. That is horrible. Horrible. Yeah. Shout out to marijuana. Mauricio is a freak. You should listen to Aubrey O'Day's story about him. What are you guys talking about, Aubrey O'Day? How am I not on this? I'm a pop culture vulture. I did see she was talking to somebody about something, but I had to tune out the Aubrey O'Day after a while because I was like, I don't know what's going on with this woman. Is she okay? But what did he do to Aubrey O'Day? Oh my God. On tomorrow's No Offense, All Offense. I'm going to have to look into that. Oh my. Yes. And him thinking the party's in the parking lot. It's like, sir. And if you noticed when he came in the finale episode, or when the girls came in with their mom with Kyle to whatever it's called, Sophie Stadium, I don't know, in Los Angeles for the party, they walked right past Mauricio. They had the production had to be like, Mauricio, here comes your wife. And he's like, God, are these fucking Triscuits? Dude, these are this the garden ones? Fucking garlic or garden? Oh, dude, so good. They're so. Oh, my what? Oh yeah, my wife. Here come my daughters, and they were just like, like they didn't want to talk to. They didn't want to talk to him. So some stuff is going down. Okay, Aubrey O'Day was in love with Don Jr. So her taste is not good in men. Carrie says on the upcoming buy in Beverly Hills, Mauricio blames Kyle. Ugh, how on brand. It's on the new trailer. Oh, am I gonna have to watch that damn show? Yeah, Aubrey is just collecting all of the receipts on these problematic men. Okay, I'm gonna have to check it out. Can't wait to deep dive into Aubrey and Mo. Okay, who do I have to watch? Who interviewed her about this, guys? You guys put it in the chat if you don't mind, because I think it got brought up as recommended for me, but I didn't. I definitely didn't click on it. Aubrey and DJ Pauly is the only one I knew of. Yeah, and I remember DJ Pauly D, and people talking about how Aubrey O'Day just like lets her dog shit everywhere, and she's kind of diva-ish and stuff. So, oh my goodness. Okay. I'll look into it and we'll see what is going on with that, because oh my goodness, I am here for that. But tonight, you guys, we have an all new episode of Vanderpump Rules, so get ready for me to be in my moody era and me to be in my super sassy era as I roast and recap what is sure to be an abomination of an episode. However, we'll all have a hopefully a laugh about it. Ugh, okay. So we talked about a lot today. I feel like we got a lot done. You guys have been very productive. I appreciate you. Okay. I've been okay. You guys have been the stars of the show. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to my super chatters. Thank you, Molly. Thank you, Jill, Christine. Shout out to those of you who hit me up on the Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. Thank you so much. Shout out to those of you who commented in the live chat, and shout out to future those of you who will leave a comment after this video post, for I love to hear your thoughts, opinions, hopes, and dreams. And also, it helps me in the algorithm. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. So hit that like on your way out. I'll be back tonight after an all new abomination of Vanderpump Rules. And then tomorrow for another no offense, all offense, for more rumors and nastiness.
Where's Meredith Marks when I need her?
The rumors, the nastiness, the rumors, the nastiness. You want me to go there with her husband? I can go there. You can leave.
You can leave, and you guys can all leave too, and enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you later tonight. And always remember to enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. Bye.
If you like what you see.